So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. So guys, breaking news yesterday. And I was going to report this, but Manny Pacquiao is not going to be reinstated. And that's quite surprising, quite shocking. Manny Pacquiao has not been reinstated as the WBA Super Champion, which I find kind of startling. I find, wow. The WBA have made a stance and they're going to keep Ugas the WBA Super Champion, which is very surprising because I thought all the governing bodies are unified in terms of trying to get in a undisputed champion. And what this means is now that Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence won't be fighting for 3 belts. And what implications does this set? The implications this sets is you could look at it from a good point of view, and you can also look at it from a negative point of view. A negative point of view is that we're further away from seeing an undisputed champion in the welterweight division. However, a positive point of view could be that we're a step closer to making the Errol Spence and Terence Crawford fight if Errol was to beat Manny. Now, if Manny beats Errol, then we've got a whole set of things. I still don't think it'll be an issue. I'll tell you why. If Terence Crawford is reportedly going to not sign with Bob Arum and become a free agent, there's a great chance that Terence Crawford will join PBC. And in that case, Terence Crawford can fight Ugas for that belt and become a unified champion if he was to be successful against Ugas, which is by no means an easy fight. Ugas is a really good fighter. Now we have 2 unified champions. We have Errol Spence and we have Terence Crawford. I think Errol Spence isn't going to be happy because Errol Spence probably wanted to fight Manny. The fact that he thought that, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that he would have preferred a Ugas fight over Manny Pacquiao. No way, just because Manny doesn't have the belt, he still knows what that fight does for his legacy, and the fact that Manny Pacquiao will bring him in a lot more money than the Ugas fight will. And I think he'd prefer that over a Ugas fight. But I think it'll frustrate him that it's not for the WBA, because that would have meant he would have held 3 belts by beating Manny Pacquiao. Now he only has 2. So if Terence Crawford was to fight Ugas, now all of a sudden, Terence Crawford could go to the negotiating table and say, look, I've got 2 belts, you've got 2 belts. Do you see where I'm coming from? Even though from a financial point of view, Spence will still be a bigger star and be doing bigger numbers because the fight with him and Pacquiao is going to do huge numbers. We know that a Crawford-Ugas fight is that even pay-per-view worthy? I don't think so. But, if they were to stick that on pay-per-view, we know that's not going to do anywhere near the numbers that Spence-Pacquiao does. So from a pulling power point of view, Terence Crawford is still going to be behind Errol Spence. However, now Terence Crawford will also have 2 belts and Spence will have 2 belts. So it makes it more realistic to do a 50-50. Do you see what I mean? So that fight becomes closer. I'm not saying it's still going to happen because, like I said, from a pulling power point of view, Spence is a much bigger star than Terence Crawford. But I don't know why the WBA did what they did. It doesn't, make sense because Manny Pacquiao beat Keith Thurman for that belt, and Ugas didn't really beat anyone. And the crazy thing is that the reason why they put Manny Pacquiao as a champion in recess because they thought he wasn't going to fight Errol Spence, and the division wasn't going to move forward with him being the WBA because there was rumors that he was going to fight Ryan Garcia, he was going to fight Conor McGregor. So they thought that the division would be held up. So they thought, let's put him in champion in recess, make Ugas the full champion. This way the division can move forward. But that kind of backfired because Manny Pacquiao then, obviously the Garcia and McGregor, all those fights fell through. Manny Pacquiao decided to fight Errol Spence. Now the WBA in a situation where, they're like, okay, the guy that we put in recess, the reason why I put him in recess because we thought he wouldn't fight Errol Spence, or he was being rumoured to fight other guys. But now he's actually fighting the unified champion in Spence. And the guy that we've actually made the champion, he's inactive and he's not fighting. Now, if they're talking about Ugas potentially fighting Berto, Michael Benson reported is that Ugas may fight Berto to defend that WBA belt. So I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand this. It doesn't make sense to me, this decision. I don't quite understand it. It seems like they've made Ugas the WBA champion, and it's kind of like they feel guilty now because they made him the champion. Ugas obviously said a few things online as well. And they're kind of like, we don't really want to reverse it now. So really, when you think about it, I don't know what it means by champion in recess, because I thought a champion in recess means that they can reinstate him as champion, especially now with the way what Manny Pacquiao did in fighting Errol Spence, and the fact that Ugas hasn't fought. I thought it was just quite straightforward for them to reinstate him, but it's not, because they've not reinstated him. So Manny Pacquiao essentially has been stripped, really, when you think about it. He's not, you can't say he's a champion in recess when he's fighting the unit. I don't really understand. I don't really understand this situation. It's bizarre. But they have decided now, all the major, news in boxing is that he's not going to be reinstated, which is surprising. Surprising because, you would have expected. I think there's something more to this. I think Terence Crawford may be leaving Top Rank, and if he is gonna come to PBC, I think maybe it might be, something that Al Heyman thought, that, we'll get Terence Crawford become the unified champion. I don't know. I'm just shooting stuff out there, which I'm not sure. But yeah, it's just bizarre because Ugas isn't a huge star or a huge name. So it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up to me. Surely they've got something in the pipeline, and that might be a Terence Crawford-Ugas fight after maybe October, when maybe Crawford's... We just don't know. But yeah, you would have thought that they would have reinstated Manny would be in the WBA, and, they'd be fighting for 3 belts. But yeah, it's bizarre. But Ugas benefits because now Ugas is going to be targeted, and Ugas could potentially get some big fights. Now, if he gets a fight with Berto, right, that they'll probably pay him well for that. And then if he gets, just say after that, he might get a Crawford. He may even get a Spence fight. That'll be a big fight. So Ugas is going to get well compensated. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of guys looking at Ugas and thinking, you know what, we could beat this. Like Andre Berto, I don't know. They're talking about him fighting. I don't know how he's going to get the shot, to be honest, because I think he hasn't even fought for 3 years. So I'm quite surprised how he's managed to climb the rankings and get a shot. But whatever it is, wherever it is, whoever he fights, maybe Ugas has been out. Ugas has been out for a while, so maybe they think that, he needs a tune-up before he... But I would love to see Ugas against Thurman. Love to see Ugas against Danny Garcia. I'd love to see, even Ugas against Porter again. I thought Ugas beat Porter. So that'll be a good fight. But yeah, I think Ugas, I'd like to see him in some good fights. And who knows, if Crawford is leaving Top Rank, maybe that Ugas fight happens. Or maybe if Ugas fights one of Thurman and Thurman wins, we may get a Crawford-Thurman on this, a unification fight. This is what I mean. There's a lot of opportunities out there. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to be looking to target Ugas. So Ugas isn't going to have a problem now getting a fight. Whereas before he probably would have been looked at as high risk, low reward. Whereas now he's got the belt. So Ugas is a player in the welterweight division. There's going to be a lot of guys looking for that fight with Ugas because they'll look at him and think, we can beat this guy. And he's the weaker champion. Even though, don't get me wrong, Ugas is a very good fighter. Just because he's a weaker out of Crawford and Spence, that don't mean that he's a very good fighter, Ugas. Like I said, I thought he beat Sean Porter and was unlucky. But yeah, it's strange. It's strange in the world of boxing. You don't always understand what's going on. And this is one of them that I don't understand, because I just thought it was foregone conclusion that Manny would be reinstated. But I did say in a video that it's taking him very long to confirm him being reinstated. So I thought there was something going on behind the scenes, and I wouldn't say I'm surprised. I'm surprised in the sense that I thought they would make him just because they wanted him get, a goal of seeing undisputed. But because it was taking so long, I did think they may have been having second thoughts. Because they, in my opinion, although they made Manny Pacquiao champion in recess, they probably never thought that they would have to consider reinstating him, because they probably didn't think Manny was going to fight a Spence or a Crawford. They probably thought he was going to fight someone like McGregor and they just thought that, so this is why I think with Manny coming back and picking Errol Spence to fight, it kind of put everything up in the air. But yeah, I don't know what you guys think of it. I don't know what you guys think of this situation. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Are you happy by it? Because here's the thing. I think Ugas is a quality fighter, but here's the thing. I'm not a big fan of guys being given a belt, just because they're #1 challenger. I feel like you should have to fight for it. So instead of making him champion, what they should have done, they should have ordered a fight and maybe have #1 and #2 fight for the WBA Super belt. But they didn't do that. Or maybe even get Manny Pacquiao, order him to fight. And if Manny Pacquiao says no, then they could, say Ugas fights number 2 guy in the WBA for the belt. But to just like upgrade somebody to a world champion, I just don't like. As a fighter, how can it takes away that feeling of winning a world title. It takes away that, you're not winning. You're not taking a belt off a champion. You're not beating somebody to become world champion. You're being given it because you've climbed your way up, which is fair enough, but surely you should have to fight for that. Surely it shouldn't just be given to you. Like Manny had to fight for that belt against Keith Thurman. He wasn't just given it. He had to fight for it. So yeah, I'm confused. I'm confused. And at times, boxing can confuse you. And this is just one of those situations. It's just a confusing situation, because I was quite confident they would reinstate Manny, and I didn't think that I didn't think there was anything going to get in the way. But the fact that it was taking so long, I did start having second thoughts. And the news is out now. They're not going to reinstate him, and let's see. As long as we can get an undisputed welterweight champion, I don't care. So if like I said, this situation may help, because if Spence was to have beaten Manny, right, I actually think it would have been a nightmare making the Crawford fight. This way, if Crawford was to fight someone like Ugas and win, become a unified champion, then he has 2 belts. Spence has 2 belts. So it might even help. So maybe that's the thinking behind it. I don't know. I'm just, again, speculation. It's just me saying stuff. But what do you guys make of it? Are you guys happy? Are you guys upset that Manny is not being reinstated? What do you think of it? What do you think of this? Do you disagree? Do you agree? Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think. I would love to know your opinion. Do you think this is fair? Do you think it's unfair? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace.